So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're looking at the greatest moments from the short-lived Panorama parody, Brass Eye.
Urgent news. Karla has started to ingest her own head.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 13, Fox Hunting.
I think the thing that people get fussed about is that a fox is a small brown furry animal, very much like a dog. I don't think they'd be nearly so worried if it was a little four-legged car full of chips.
Animal rights were a hot topic in 1997, with animal cloning just kicking off and Britain still gripped by the BSE outbreak. It was this frenzy about animal welfare that Chris Morris had in his sights, aiming squarely at that most beloved pastime of the upper classes, fox hunting. There's no real defense for fox hunting, with the hunting ban remaining an extremely popular piece of legislation, but the ban had only existed for a few years when this episode was made.
If you plot number of animals abused against what makes people cruel versus intelligence of either party, the pattern is so unreadable you might as well draw in a chain of fox heads on sticks. And if you do that, an interesting thing happens. The word cruel starts flashing.
It's also the best example of Brass Eye's parody of indecipherable statistics often used by news outlets, with this legendary scene.
The fox feels nothing. It's made of string.
Number 12, The Virgin Mary.
Trisha O'Donnell, the local girl who says she saw the statue of Mary driving a car through a field.
In this hard-hitting piece of investigative journalism, Moss Staples goes to Ireland to talk to a girl who's had a religious experience, seeing a statue of the Virgin Mary driving around. But it's not just Patricia who's been seeing the Virgin around Ballacreen. A local garage owner has also encountered her when she came around to fill up on petrol.
I thought I heard her say very quietly, "Fill her up." So I did. She pulled a face. Went like this.
There's now a local cult devoted to the statue, which has led to a boom in tourism. Patricia's mother, Martha, also seems to be trying to kill her own daughter, encouraging her to pray in the middle of the road. The mystery of the statue remains unsolved, though, when the local statue driver denies being involved.
10 years ago, a man was arrested in the area for driving statues around in a car. Was it him?
Right, not you then.
He told us not.
Number 11, The Huffford Gang.
Not many cars to nick here, so instead they hijack pedestrians and run them around at terrifying leg speeds. It's called git surfing. All too often, the git is one of their own mothers.
Morris is trying to get to the bottom of this crime. Why is there so much of it, and why do people keep doing it? To find out, he heads to a housing estate to look into the infamous Huffford Gang, youths who indulge in a new activity called git surfing.
Everybody had keys to everybody else's house, you know, and the locks were, well, they were sort of made of something like paper.
Just like happy slapping, it's an epidemic ravaging Britain. Local elderly residents lament what the estate was like in the old days, when you could leave your doors unlocked and nobody would break in.
Kerry was dressed as an angel. He woke the old man up and told him he was dead and must go outside and bury himself.
But now your flat will be invaded by yobs who'll degrade you and force you to dig your own grave.
Sainsbury would definitely be Costa del Blowfly if the cops hadn't seen his body by chance while they were tracking a man who'd buggered a heron.
Number 10, Beating Them Off.
Let me put it this way. It's not likely to happen, but just say I attacked you now, right? Would you beat me off?
Yes, but no more than that.
God, well, how long would you beat me off for?
In one of his infamous fake interviews, Morris makes a fool of journalist Claire Rayner in character as David UNESCO by using a euphemism she's clearly not familiar with.
And would you beat me off even if people were looking?
Well, I would hope that they'd join in and help me.
Right, so would I.
He's trying to get to the bottom of sexual violence against women and whether there's any defense against it, with Rayner saying that she'd fight off any men who came near her with ill intentions.
And if you get to the point where a whole room full of men is attacking you, you would try and beat them all off and enlist all help.
Now, of course, fight isn't the word Morris uses, which leaves her in the embarrassing situation of accidentally saying she'd provide pleasure to her assailants. But be warned, she won't pay for the dry cleaning afterwards.
And who'd pay for the dry cleaning afterwards?
Oh, paying's the least of it.
Number 9, Clive Anderson.
The broadcaster and entertainer Clive Anderson has been shot dead by television host Noel Edmonds at his house in Cornwall this evening.
This bizarre segment was included after the ad break graphic, tricking unwitting viewers into thinking that they might be watching a genuine breaking news broadcast, until Morris reappears. The story says that comedian Clive Anderson had been shot in a violent altercation with Noel Edmonds, all delivered with the same solemnity as if they were announcing a death in the royal family.
The incident took place at around 7:30 during dinner when Mr. Edmonds produced an automatic weapon and began shooting indiscriminately at his guests.
Apparently, Edmonds had gone bananas and got involved in a Waco siege-style standoff with local coppers, firing on them from inside his house. It's not the strangest thing Noel Edmonds has ever said or done, though. He once implied that negative energy could cause cancer.
An hour later, Edmonds appeared at a top window with blood on his face and threw what may have been a head onto the ground below.
Number 8, heavy electricity.
Hello, I'm Richard Bryars. I want to tell you about Wisp and heavy electricity.
Be careful, your house could be riddled with heavy electricity. It's a good thing Chris Morris and a gaggle of gullible celebrities are here to tell you what to do about it. Throughout the 90s and 2000s, there was constant scaremongering about particle accelerators and whether activating them would inadvertently destroy the world.
You, me and Wisp must contact the Sri Lankan embassy now and let them know just how shoddy this all is.
Well, apparently what they actually do is make people unwell via magnetic fields. You can't really expect random actors and public figures to understand particle physics, but it just goes to show how you can get people to say absolutely anything.
Heavy electricity is regularly flattening cattle in Sri Lanka. Afterwards, the poor beasts looked like giant, fur-covered slugs.
Some of them did question whether any of it made sense, but then advocated against those pesky sodomized electrons anyway.
Geeta is 15 years old, and now because of heavy electricity, she is only 8 inches tall.
Number 7, Blouse.
When I saw your photo in the press, I thought, is she blonde under her dress? I thought, I hope they make her take off her dress for the next one.
Who knew that Chris Morris had this impeccable Jarvis Cocker impression so dialed in? Also in the episode about the decline of Britain, he goes after the music industry and the fictional band Blouse that's just released a hit single about Myra Hindley, one of the Moors murderers, called My Oh Myra, in the style of pulp.
I used to have your picture in the toilet. I wanted you to see my naked body and oil it, but my mother had to catch me and spoil it.
It really does sound like something that could have appeared on Different Class, with even the music video filmed in a similar style to Pulp's.
I don't think there's a single reference in the song to a brain, which I think maybe add a slight problem.
Would you buy Me Oh Myra? Then burn it? Then buy another copy? Let us know.
Every time I see your picture, Myra, I have to phone my latest girlfriend and fire her. I find a looks like you and Myra. Oh, me oh Myra.
Number 6, talking nonsense.
And I'm talking nonsense.
This time, celebrities were endorsing the dodgy organization No Offense, aiming to raise awareness for the danger nonces pose in public and the sophisticated ways they all communicate with each other. This begins with outrageous claims that wrong'uns have more in common genetically with crabs than other humans, and develops into Gary Lineker taking a day off flogging crisps to show us obscure SMS codes nonces send to each other.
Baltimora. This means literally, I'm running at them now with my trousers down.
Yet again, it's an indictment of just how easy it is to whip up a public frenzy about this issue, with none of these celebs apparently realizing they were being had.
Now that is scientific fact. There's no real evidence for it, but it is scientific fact.
Children today often have mobile phones, but so too do paedophiles using text message slang. And because they're on edge, they dial wrong numbers. So watch out for these. Pipe-to-pipe bushman, code for 2 paedophiles having sex with each other while watching children from a shrub.
DBL means dusky blonde Lulu, and that's a male paedophile disguised as a lion.
Baltimora. This means literally, I'm running at them now with my trousers down.
Number 5. AIDS.
Who says AIDS guys are too puny to do tough stuff? This guy's got AIDS, and he's about to beat me in an arm wrestling. Oh, well done.
Morris is hosting a brass-eyed talk show, and regular contributor Mark Heap is in the audience as a man with HIV. Morris defeats him in an arm wrestle, then goes on to talk about good AIDS versus bad AIDS, an extreme idea that is almost beat for beat what newspapers at the time were actually saying about the condition.
Now, Fred was unlucky enough to catch his virus from a blood transfusion, something he had no control
sorry,
over.
I caught it from my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
From my partner, yeah.
So you've got bad AIDS, not good AIDS?
Even in the mid-1990s, there were still people who didn't understand how HIV is spread and massive amounts of stigma against people suffering from it, which is exactly what Morris is expertly lampooning.
Support somebody who's caught good AIDS because they caught the virus through no fault of their own. Exactly.
It's also mocking TV presenters who will wear ribbons and badges, claiming to support causes they clearly don't actually care about.
What if a madman broke in here with a machine gun and shot you to pieces? Anyone here yawning would get your blood in their mouth. Yes.
Ridiculous.
Number 4. Home Office Key 2000.
What I'd like to do right now is to take your bad half outside and do it in extremely physical discourtesy.
Trying to deal with young offenders, celebrities are persuaded to record a video message called Home Office Key 2000 that will be played for criminals when they're taken to prison. Tommy Vance, Michael Winner, Vanessa Feltz, all of them provided messages half of inspiration and half of persecution, degrading the recipients and insisting they have to sort themselves out.
Hello, you think you don't know me, don't you? Yes, but you do, because I'm the shopkeeper you shot in a mindless hold-up.
There are escalating messages depending on how many times the criminal has gone to prison too, as well as depending on the crime, with Feltz delivering a long speech to a hypothetical murderer about how disappointed in them she is.
Look at my eyes, murderer. You killed me. What the hell did you do that for? Look at me. Feel proud, do you? Do you even know what a feeling is?
Number 3. Cake.
You've heard what Bernard Manning said. Cake is a bisturbile, cranabolic amphetamide, which is a made-up psychoactive chemical.
More dangerous than heavy electricity is this new illicit substance, known widely by the street name Cake.
They all fall on it like crazed animals, scoff the lot, and then lie around waiting for a DJ to play music which sounds like this.
This time, the celebs were given a big yellow prop to use, with Bernard Manning getting one the size of a dinner table to illustrate the dangers of cake, which had come into the UK all the way from Czechoslovakia despite the country being dissolved in 1992. MP David Amess also got involved in the campaign, and even later asked a question about cake in the House of Commons.
Have we asked anything about this in Parliament? I mean, no. We haven't.
Everybody wanted a piece of this particular cake, with disgraced presenter Rolf Harris also appearing to talk about it and the problems it was bringing to our society.
If someone offers you cake, they might call it Looney Toad Quack,
Russell Dust, Chronic Basildon Donuts,
Joss Eklund's spunky backpack.
Number 2. Karla, the East German elephant.
Now they want to help Karla, an East German elephant who has got a trunk jammed up her own guts.
Another publicity campaign. We think that this one is, quite possibly, the most absurd out of all of them. Yet again, we sit here wondering how nobody worked out that it's completely impossible for the suffering Karla is alleged to be going through to have occurred. But we're glad they didn't, because we wouldn't have got these scenes.
Karla the elephant is currently curled up in a kind of a grey ball. Her trunk is actually stuck up her anus, and they're not trying to help her.
None of them even realized that East Germany, like Czechoslovakia, didn't exist anymore, and hadn't for 7 years already.
An elephant could no more get its trunk up its ass than we could lick our balls.
They got Britt Eklund to read out some utter rubbish, and also got Dame Jilly Cooper to do a drawing of Karla that she then faxed over. Even Paul Daniels got involved in this hard-hitting campaign to rescue the poor animal.
Hi, this is Alexandra Paul from Baywatch. Please help me get Karla's head out of her guts now before she explodes.
Number 1. The One Thing. If any line from Brass Eye has stood the test of time, it's certainly this one.
Sidney Cook was blasted into space to spend the rest of his life aboard a one-man prison vessel, posing no further threat to children on Earth.
This news report follows the establishment's latest efforts to stop notorious criminal Sidney Cook from ever being able to reoffend. But during a mission to lock him in outer space forever, something goes terribly wrong.
But it was revealed that an 8-year-old boy was also placed on board by mistake and is now trapped alone in space with the monster.
The UK doesn't really have a space program anymore, but we can imagine no small number of people would support British rocket launches if they were sending nonces permanently into orbit.
Spokesman said, "This is the one thing we didn't want to happen."
What makes this moment so funny despite its dark subject matter? That single misplaced apostrophe, a great example of how sloppy the journalism around moral panic usually is. Let us know what the one thing you didn't want to happen is in the comments below.